Since Rocket League was released in 2015, one of the things that drew so many players to it is the fact that there is simply no other game in the world quite like it. It sits in a genre all by itself, and this is one of the reasons that the game has developed such a dedicated player base. But is this really the case? Is there truly no other game like Rocket League? To find out, I searched for any game that may give a similar vibe to Rocket League, and of the 5 games we'll be discussing today, some of them were quite surprising. When I first started my search, the goal was to stick as close to the idea of Rocket League as possible, and the first game that caught my eye was this little gem, Car Soccer World Cup. Let me tell you, the name of this game really had me thinking that I had found the next Rocket League. So I booted up the game and was greeted with gameplay that I could not have possibly expected. This game was complete chaos, especially when you went into a 5v5 match. The controls were simple enough, simply click and drag on the screen, and the car followed where your mouse went. You could also switch which car you were controlling by simply clicking on a different car. The real draw of this game was how it took me back to a simpler time. After putting thousands of hours into Rocket League, it is easy to forget that we all started by constantly missing the ball. And that is exactly what I did in this game. Missed the ball over and over and over again. I loved every second of it. But the biggest joy of this game is how the cars seem to have all kinds of unspoken rules. You had bots being stuck against the walls of the field, you had cars locked with each other in all kinds of different ways, and when a car got stuck, it stayed there for an extended period of time, which gained a lot of respect from me as a Rocket League player. Although I was never able to win a match in this game, I did manage to get a draw, and I had a great time along the way. Cars get stuck in funny places. Much better than Rocket League in this aspect. 8 out of 10. Moving on from Car Soccer, I came upon another game where machines were battling it out on the soccer field. This beauty of a game is called Robot Soccer Challenge. As its name implies, you are a robot playing soccer. Once again, the simplicity of the controls make the game very easy to play. You can move forward and backward with W and S respectively, and swivel the robot side to side with A and D. Approaching the ball from the front results in your robot grabbing and dribbling the ball in front of you. From there, all you need to do is shoot the ball into the goal with left click on your mouse. This game absolutely shined in 2 aspects. First of all, these robots were even better at respecting Rule 1. In fact, they are so good at it that they can even stay locked while the ball is in between them. The game even recognizes karma for breaking a Rule 1. I watched my teammate break away and then immediately miss a wide open net. That is classic Rocket League karma if I've ever seen it. The second way this game shines is by being completely broken, both on offense and defense. If you get control of the ball, you can just start to drive around the field in a circle. This will get your opponents to chase after you, but don't worry. It's not actually possible for them to catch up to take the ball off of you. Once you have them following you, you just have to circle back to their nets, and you have a free goal waiting for you. Even better than the broken offense, though, is the defense. You may notice that these goals are pretty small. They may even look kinda robot-sized. So if you just slide your little robot butt into your own net, it actually becomes impossible for your opponents to score. So all you need to do to win in this game is sit in your own nets and wait for your teammate to score for you. Overall, this game obviously isn't as fast-paced as Rocket League, and you don't have as much free movement in your vehicle or the ball, but what it lacks in all of that, it makes up for in its ability to guarantee that you win games. Easier to win than Rocket League, bots respect Rule 1, karma is clear as day. 9 out of 10. Moving away from the vehicles, but staying in soccer territory, we have React. This is basically a soccer game where instead of kicking the ball, you shoot it with a gun. This first-person shooter soccer game is absolute chaos. I only really explored the base game with no added bells or whistles, but there are so many things that you can add to make the game absolutely mental. The worst thing about this game is that when two players are shooting the ball from opposite directions, it has a tendency to just get stuck and not go anywhere. But other than that, this game is a lot of fun. There is not much thought that needs to be used for it, but sometimes you just need to be able to play something that is more or less mindless fun. Additionally, if you ever get frustrated that the ball doesn't seem to be bouncing your way in Rocket League, you can hop into React and take your frustrations out on the ball directly by blowing it to smithereens. Good way to release frustration. Mindless shooting is fun. 6 out of 10. To this point, we have been talking about games that are more to be used for short bursts of entertainment, but definitely don't have the depth to them that something like Rocket League has. The last two games on our list certainly seem to have more substance to them. The first game in this section is Meta Ball. This one just released at the end of September this year, and is probably the game on this list that has the most visual similarities to Rocket League. Looking at the start screen for this game, it looks like someone combined a regular Rocket League field with a hoops map, and that kinda is the case. In Meta Ball, instead of playing soccer, you are playing basketball, and instead of controlling a car, you control a dude on a hoverboard. In this game, you can boost and jump around on your hoverboard, grab control of the ball, swing that ball around, and then pass it, shoot it, or dunk it. All of the different ways you can swing the ball around actually lead to an interesting game between you and your opponents, with them having to try to guess which way you are going to move the ball, and you having to keep the ball in motion so they can't steal it from you. Much like in Rocket League, the game does not make use of the simple press this button to do this action in terms of shooting and passing. So if you want to score in this game, you need to time your button presses on the shots to make sure you are getting the ball on target. This game does feel like it has quite a bit of substance to it. With it being very new, it will be interesting to see how it develops over time. The biggest downside that it has currently is that everything feels kinda slow and clunky. One of the greatest things about Rocket League is how smooth everything feels from the first time you hop into training. This game doesn't quite feel the same way, although I am willing to bet that if you put in some time to get fluid and confident in the ball movement, everything would feel very smooth and completely under your control. Just like how it feels to master new skills in Rocket League. Game seems to have a lot of depth to it. Lots of skills to learn. Not immediately easy to pick up. Basketball is fun. 9 out of 10. Now, Turbo Golf Racing is a game that has a ton of similarities to Rocket League. You are in a car, playing a game with a ball. That car can jump, boost, fly, flip, pretty much all of the things that the Rocket League car can do. The idea of this game is explained pretty clearly in the title. You are racing up to 7 other players to get your ball into the hole as quickly as possible. Each match has 5 rounds, and over these rounds, players accumulate points based on what position they finish each hole in. The better you place, the more points you earn. The cars in this game do not handle quite to the same level as the Rocket League cars, but you can feel the polish on the movement of the cars and the ball. It feels like a lot of care was taken into the design of this game, and they came out with what feels like a very polished product. A lot of the highlights of this game come down to its simplicity. There is no heavy thinking that goes into this. You're trying to hit the ball into the hole as quickly as possible. That's it. It is all about lining up the best shots as quickly as you can, and finding a balance between speed and precision. Go too fast and you will hit the ball off course and fall behind from being reset. Go too slow and you'll be passed by the entire field anyway. Finding this balance is a big part of the appeal of this game. Once you find it, the game feels extremely satisfying. You can get in such a flow where it feels like you are moving so fluidly down the course. And when things feel smooth, it results in a very fun experience. Fast and simple, racing is exciting, extremely satisfying. 10 out of 10. A lot of games that we looked at today have a lot of potential for the future. I'll particularly be interested to see how Metaball and Turbo Golf Racing continue to grow. Both of those games seem like they may be able to develop some sizable communities down the road, and could have bright futures ahead of them. But to answer the initial question of this video, is there really any other game like Rocket League? No. Sure, some games have some similarities, and maybe they took some inspiration from some things that Rocket League has done, but at the end of the day, no. There is no other game like Rocket League, and who knows if there ever will be. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you guys would like to be more involved in this community, please consider joining my Discord, link down in the description. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.